We'll finish in 5 minutes, and then some brothers have some comments or something they want to add. Any or questions? Inshallah. Okay. طيب. He says here, narrated, Jabir ibn Abdullah radiyallahu ta'ala anhuma, بلغني حديث عن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لم أسمعه. There was a hadith that I heard about from the Messenger of Allah صلى الله عليه وسلم that I didn't hear that I didn't hear directly myself. I heard some other companions mentioning it, some other tabi'een mentioning it, but I don't remember. I didn't hear it myself from the Prophet عليه الصلاة والسلام. فابتعت بعيرا. So I bought a camel. فشددت عليه رحلي. I outfitted that camel, put on my saddle and all the necessary provisions. وسرت شهرا حتى قدمت الشام. He says, I traveled for 1 month. 1 month. From Medina to Sham. You know how far that is from Medina to Syria? On a camel. 4 weeks. Just to hear how many hadith Abdul Fattah? 10. To get ijaza. Why did he go to Sham? He says to hear what? Not even to hear it. He says to double check, to make sure. He could have stayed in Medina where he was. There were trustworthy Muslims who had that hadith. But he wanted to make sure and double check himself. He says, فَأَتَيْتُ عَبْدُ اللَّهِ بْنِ أُنَيْسٍ رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُ فَقُلْتُ لِلْبَوَّابِ. I met a man whose name was Abdullah ibn Unais رضي الله عنه. And I told the doorkeeper, قُلْ لَهُ جَابِرٌ عَلَى الْبَابِ فَأَتَاهُ. فقال له جابر بن عبد الله فأتاني فقال جابر. So therefore, he says, tell him that Jabir is at the door, or at the gate. So he went to him and he told him that Jabir ibn Abdullah was here. The man, Abdullah ibn Unais, he said, Jabir? From the companions? The son of a companion? The one who was close to the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? He traveled, he left his home all the way just to come to my house? It meant a lot to him. Great deal of respect and love. He says, Naam. فَرَجَعَ فَأَخْبَرَهُ فَقَامَ بِطَأْطَأْ ثَوْبَهُ. So he stood up, grabbing his clothes, rushing and running. فَاعْتَنَقَنِي. So he gave me a hug and I gave him a hug. And that shows us how the righteous alim is humble in love. Jabir gave him a hug before he did. Okay, so it shouldn't be something which you're too above the people. You have to hug me. La, I should be hugging you. That's the sign of true knowledge, true ilm. As that a person is humble and he's warm. He then said, I've heard that there's a hadith that you heard from the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam concerning the qisas, concerning some issues of eye for an eye. He says, لم أسمعه فخشيت أن تموت أو أموت قبل أن أسمعه. I was afraid that you would die, or I would die before me hearing it from you, having a direct source, a better, shorter chain. He then said, the Messenger of Allah ﷺ said, the slaves of Allah will be resurrected to the end of the hadith. وَسَأَلَ عَبْدُ اللَّهِ بْنِ أَحْمَدَ أَبَاهُ عَمَّنْ طَلَبَ الْعِلْمَ. Abdullah ibn Ahmad, he asked his father about those who seek knowledge. Should he stay to one teacher, one scholar, and write everything down? Or should he travel and go to the different countries and the different cities and hear from them? He says a man should travel. He should write down from the scholars of Kufa, from the scholars of Basra, from the scholars of Medina, the scholars of Mecca, and he should also go to Sham. Yeah, he says, yeah, Sham wa Nas. He should go to Sham and any other country and hear from them. Imam Ibn Ma'in, rahimahullah, the great friend of Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, the alim of the science of al-Jarh wa Ta'deel, he said, 4 men, don't expect no good from them. 4 types of people that you're not going to get too much from them. And from those 4 men, or those 4 types of men, he says a man who writes down hadith in his own town, but doesn't travel. He's not going to be successful if he does not go outside of his home location and meet different people and experience from different things and learn from other types of ulama. The 5th etiquette, he says here, Ibrahim ibn Adham, and we'll move on to the 5th etiquette. It says, Al-amalu bil-ilm, acting upon your knowledge. We'll stop here, bidnillah azza wa jalla, for the few moments that we have before the iqamah. If there's anyone who wants to add anything, wants to make any comments or any questions or things like this, now is the time. Now, alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Any questions, any comments? Anybody want to add anything? Alhamdulillah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.